People use AI so much. They don't use their brain. People constantly asking me to do ghostwriting for them on LinkedIn. I can lead you to find your inner voice. You cannot be me and I cannot be you. It's a waste of reputation.
The Next Gen Sales Leaders Podcast. Coffees for Closers.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Next Gen Sales Leader Podcast. I'm here with Teodora. She is a growth strategist for LinkedIn as well as just B2B in general. We are really happy to have her on the show. She actually has her own book she just launched, and you guys can find that, I believe, on Amazon. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, but it's called There's No Such Thing as a Perfect Strategy. We're going to get deep into what that means, how this is impacting the world of B2B and growth, and maybe why AI is a blocker. So welcome to the show. Glad to have you on.
Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So tell me about the book. Where did the book come from? Why did you write it? And what is the core lesson that you're trying to tell the world?
So I wrote it out of frustration about a lot of LinkedIn gurus and templates and I don't know, frameworks that it's not alignable with different businesses. And I want to learn people how to think, because you only need two things to make a perfect message, strategy, or everything else in business. You need to deeply understand, and I mean deeply understand your ICP, their behavior, how they think, how they make decision, what is their language. I don't mean about like Serbian English, how they talk. Is they like professional, friendly, sarcastic? I don't know. They different ICPs has different talk and interpretations. So I just want to learn people to think and to listen, to actively listen, because listening is a skill. And you can train it to be better at it, and to listen your ICP, to listen your market, and you just need to write it down and you will have it. And I personally believe there is no such a thing as perfection as a one thing. That is, perfection is good enough mix of lot of things, like messaging, inbound, your positioning on social media, sales strategy, follow-up strategy, cold calling, multi-channel approach, marketing, every lead gen. This is so important. Like, people don't know how to do lead gen, and the lead gen agency that I worked with and some tools are a disaster. So you need to have all of this good enough to have a perfect strategy and to get results.
This is a break in the podcast to bring you our sponsor, RevyOps.com. That is REVYOPS.com, the #1 GTM data management platform for your GTM and revenue operations data on planet Earth. If you are using the modern stack of Clay and Instantly and Email Bison and RB2B and Trigify and all these various tools scattered across the wind, we unify all that data all into one place so you don't have any duplicates, a unified view of every single contact so you can see all the data and all the activities across all the platforms all in one place. It will allow you and your team to move faster, to get better attribution across the entire funnel, and to make a heck of a lot more money. Go to RevyOps.com, check out how you can get started today with me on a call where we'll learn about your data management problems and how we can get you guys to the next level of growth. See you guys at RevyOps.com. Go there now. It will be in the show notes as well down below. Let's get back to the podcast. Well, obviously, you're seeing something in the market, whether it's with clients or whether it's just with anybody that you've engaged with. What is causing you to have this perspective? Do you feel like marketers and as growth strategists and as business leaders, we have lost the track here? Or what's causing you to want to take this stance?
Yes, they definitely lost it. And constantly people ask me and my clients, where did you learn this? Is it on your faculty because it was a business school, or some book or something? Recommend me. I actually don't have one source. I learned from people, talking to people, reading LinkedIn posts, talking with my clients, talking with other consultants, and I can see patterns. And I just use my social intelligence to make things work, to make things logical, because logic is one and it's always true. So there's no different beings of that.
I got you. So this isn't something you learned in a school or a book. It's a myriad of personal experiences, professional
Yes.
experiences, maybe reading across many different sources, but also literally what's happening in live time. So can you say more about that? So what are you seeing online that is concerning from the current trend on LinkedIn?
I think people are constantly using these post groups. Can you see me well? Because from my side it's a little blurred.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It
Okay,
will
okay,
upload
okay.
from the computer afterwards.
Okay. What I'm seeing there, that firstly, people use AI so much. They don't use their brain. They shut out their brain. Uh, Second thing is that they build businesses because of that's interesting for them, or they know friends and family who will use it, and they actually never think about market needs, about their target audience. Some they don't actually knew that knowledge, and they never do research. So it's really difficult for me to work with such founders. They have revenue maybe 1, 2, 3, 5 million annually, and they are stuck because they only worked with people they know from the past life or the past job, with their uncle, I don't know, and it's not scalable. They don't have a system, and they're stuck, and I need to find their market for them after they build something. So they screwed up because they already talked with some people in the wrong way and closed the doors that should be open, and that should be collaboration. And I need to use my magic stick to just make things work and to make things scalable. So that is the second thing.
So for me, just to understand for myself, it sounds to me like there are companies in the world that have gotten to a point of growth kind of despite themselves, if that makes sense. And whether it was just a level of product market fit, rapid word of mouth growth, because they did a good job at least at positioning themselves in that 1 to million or $1 to $2 million range to get early traction. But now, as they try to get to say 10 or 20 or $30 million,
Yes.
their positioning, their understanding of the market, their ideal customer profiles, and a real deep analysis of those people is lacking, is what I'm hearing from you. And so
Yes.
then you have to kind of argue, I wouldn't argue is a strong word, uh, debate with these business owners on the best ideal customer profile and path forward. Is that fair, or did I miss something?
Um, mm, I think the wording is not like good, because I'm not debating with them. They come to me because they know they're stuck, and
Mm.
they have a gap in their system. I mean, they don't have system, and they believe me. So I do
Mm.
it by myself, and by talking with them and asking them a lot of question. Like the first month of collaboration is like literally my research and asking them 1 million questions to get things clear, to see how that people thinking, what is happening on the market, who are those existing clients, why are they repeating to signing their contracts again and again, who are those people, who are decision makers, and etc. And out of that, I make a system and I make a strategy that is scalable and don't depends on I don't know, past friendships and friends and family circle.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm also noticing the same thing. In that very
Mm-hmm.
particular range of revenue, call it like $1 to $4 million, where you
Mm-hmm.
have a founder who had good word of mouth, they built a decent early product, they got some traction, but then they're kind of they're not actually true business builders. They're just they kind of, to some degree, I don't want to say got lucky, but they got into a position where they had some success, and what got them to where they are now is not getting them to the next level. That's basically what it comes
Yes,
down to. And so then they
yes,
hire
yes.
someone like you to come in and help them think through this next strategic set of decisions around who do we focus on and how do we position the product. And if I understand correctly, your take is that people are over reliant on AI
Yes.
and on systems, these kind of new age systems that everyone talks about, gluing together 5 different tools. And there's
Mm-hmm.
actually a deeper fundamental problem of market research and ideal customer profile understanding and categorization and that kind of stuff. Am I
Yes,
getting
like
that correct?
yes, like back to basic, guys. And you know what is the other problem? When I firstly like I stopped doing outreach a year ago, but when I was doing it, I was talking to also startup founders that are new pre-revenue, and they're like, "No, we got this. We know we have a mentor," and these kind of stories. And I was like, guys, the most important thing you can do for you is to invest right now into a healthy and stable foundation of your business. Because if you do things right at the beginning, you will have organic growth. You will have healthy, predictable, and repeatable growth. And a lot of them didn't listen to me, but some of them did, and they're really satisfied with my service, and they make a really nice success.
So, what do you think are the foundations of growth, in your opinion? What are the criteria that you think people should focus on?
On the market research, on the problems, on the trend, on the market, to follow the trend constantly, because the trends in the industry, in the tech, are changing like day to day, and also the customers, because the customer that is today your customer will be old in like few years, and it will change their behavior, routine, and everything, and maybe will not be your customer. They will be younger generation, or they will be your customer, but you need to adjust your product or service to them. So you need to constantly be with open eyes, open ears, to listen to them and implementing that in your service, in your business. So foundation of growth is to deeply understand them, to be in love with problem, not solution. That is like the sentence I constantly tell founders: don't fall in love with your solution, because they're like this. They're blindly in love with solution, and they just need to do it aggressively, but it's a not smart way. And they will lead to something. They will achieve something, but not much. And business in the marathon, not a sprint. It's a long game, so you need to think as it.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, uh, now does that understanding of hyper research, deeply understanding trends, following the where the market is moving, and
Mhm.
then focusing on problems as a starting point and not just the
Mhm.
solutions. Is that something that, where did you learn that? Is that, are there certain resources you rely on? Is that again just your intuition, or where does that come from?
Intuition. Yes, my intuition. So also, what is also important is to know. I mean, founders are like nervous when I ask them this kind of questions. So, why are they doing something? What is their reason? Is it money? Is it because you're good at it? Is it because it's funny to you? What is your reason, and what is the end goal? If it's to solve your company, to build enterprise, to buy Birkin for your wife, whatever, just tell me, because I need to know with whom I'm working, not to judge you. I mean, there is no wrong answer. I just need to deeply understand your authentically motivation, and I need to be in your shoes, because I need to build business for you as an external consultant, but I want to be in their shoes. I want to understand why are they doing it, because in that way I can have a better approach, and they will listen to me, and be hard working with our strategies and execution.
Okay, so I think the point is taken is that deep research, deep understanding of the market is critical. The reason I asked you where you learned that from is that these are like the deepest and most core solutions to the problem of copywriting and of market research. And it goes back to I'm just on this kick right now. I just have to bring them up every single one because I'm rereading the book Breakthrough Advertising. So again, if anybody hasn't bought this book by now, you got to buy this book. It's Breakthrough Advertising. It's like from the 1970s or something. Eugene Schwartz, and I've just been rereading it. And the same thing with Dan Kennedy. Any of these core copywriters, copywriting, the way I look at it, is one of the core skills. But people think copywriting is just writing, right? They think it's just words. And what people don't realize is copywriting is actually distilling the mass desires of humanity in any particular context and time period and trend and the current reality of that person's mind into a piece of words that perfectly resonate with that person. And it's so much more psychological and so much more nuanced and so much more tricky than people realize if they're not copywriters. Now, any copywriter listening to this is going, duh. But the problem is that if we are in business, we are also in the business of messaging well, right? And communicating well and saying the thing that makes sense to people on the other side of the screen. And I think to your point is that especially new business owners or business owners that are not professional marketers or especially copywriters, they don't realize that it's not about their product or their feature or the cool little thing it does. It's about specifically solving the real problems in the hearts and minds of the people they're serving. And it has to be connected to the number one mass desire or need out there in the market. And so this is like, it's so foundational, but I think you're 100% right, is that there's a noise in the market, which is basically like, look, AI is here. We can just go type into ChatGPT, give me a copy in the standard format of Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson and Eugene Schwartz, and give me a headline and give me 5 variations. Okay, great, let's go test that. And the problem with that is that it's missing the point of copywriting. It's missing the point of good copywriting, which is there is no formula. There is no standard template. There is no perfect phrase. It is always connected to the current moment in time with all those very specific, unique dynamics. To your point, like what happened 3 months from now or ago and what will happen 3 months from now are different. It's changing in live time. And so the message you use today to communicate might change by next week. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yes.
Exactly. So I'm with you. So let me ask you this. How do people actually do this market research the best? Like, what is the optimal approach here to overcome this problem?
The best ways to do it, how I do it, is to follow the trends, follow the news, to just Google it about what is happening, what is user behaviors, and what is the most important thing in the market research is to talk with potential user. So to do discovery call, to ask them a questions. But before that, read the mom test. Not the questions should not leading them to one specific answer that will just validate your idea. Be ready to they're not validating your idea, and it's also good because they will lead you spontaneously and smoothly to maybe pivoting something and to build something better for them. But the best research is to have maybe 15 to 20 interviews with half an hour with people who are you targeting, and just talk with them, but not you talking. Let them talking. You should speak like 10% of these 30 minutes. Let them talking and record all these meetings and listen to them as much time as you need to get the patterns, to get the behavior, to get what is the pain point, what is your pain killer, what is gains in that product, and how to communicate to them. What is the wording they understand? Because people are too much in their techie things or whatever the industry is, but people don't understand it. People don't want to know how it works, because I work with cybersecurity, with Web3, and they're constantly talking about blockchains, about the software behind it in a cybersecurity, the codes and everything. And I was like, guys, what is it for end users? Nobody wants to know how is that working. I don't know how the fridge is working. Like, I don't know how the many things are working, but I know how to use it and for what I need it. So that is the point. Like, not overspread it.
I think that what happens is the disease of the expert, which is we as the product makers. So if you're not in the marketing
Yes.
role, or even if you are, but especially if you're the owner of the business or you are the product manager or designer or especially the developer, when you're so deep into the code or the creation of the thing, it creates a distortion effect on the mind
Yes.
that prevents us from seeing the world freshly, so that the person who's looking into it doesn't actually see all the other nuanced context that you might have in your mind that seems very obvious. And it comes back to kind of having a beginner mindset to kind of clear away all the preconceptions. Obviously, we have a bias as humans towards things we've created, and so there's a natural love for it because it's our baby, so to speak. And I think that's the hardest part. And so it really takes a truly self-aware person in terms of the traits and qualities of a human being to be able to message well, because it requires you to completely get outside your own mind and then to kind of, as a bird's eye view, look down on the world and just watch and listen and document, and then, you know, literally just say, okay, they said this phrase or this word or this set of words, and then reuse it in a right way.
Yes.
And what creates complexity, I think, for people is that any product can have many different, what a copywriter would call performances, which is benefits. So, right, so like a car, for example. A car can give you transportation. A car can give you economy. It can get you there cheaply. A car can give you security and reliability, so you don't break down in the middle of the desert. You know, the car can give you speed, right, and getting to destinations quickly. The car can give you a bunch of things. It can give you status. You have a Ferrari, you look good to your friends, yeah, right? And so these are all these performances or benefits. And the problem is that even if you're focused on like the dream outcome for a client, the question is like, what do you even choose? All those things I just mentioned. Like, how do you focus somebody? Do you talk about the transportation piece? Do you talk about the I look good piece? Like, do you want to look good in front of your friends? Do you want to show your friends how successful you are? That's a much different message than, do you want to get home from work faster? You know? And these are kind of very critical decisions, because if you choose the wrong benefit or performance as a copywriter or a marketer, you can completely miss the mind of the active thinking in the market. And I think, to your point, it's like there is no perfect prescription. There's no perfect answer. It's a choose the best of your knowledge, come up with the best performance. So it's like you're talking to everyone. Everyone's talking about how the fact that their friends all have these amazing cars and they, you know, get to go on more dates and like look good. You know, it's like, all right, well then that's your focus, right? Because the desire in the market right now is to look good, not necessarily to, you know, save money on fuel.
Yes.
So I think it's so stupidly simple, but it's also extremely complex, because you have to have a
Yes.
good ability to discern and judge what the market's doing, what your product is capable of, and then tying them together. And it's interesting you brought up the
Yes.
mom test. If anyone doesn't know the mom test, it's a book. It's about like 80 pages. It's free. In my school group, I'll put in the show notes. I have a school group called Next Gen Sales Systems, and we have a whole thing called Launch Your Offer. The first 8 lessons are actually about the mom test and how to build off of the mom test. But basically, you're asking questions like, what are your top 3 problems? What are your top 3 solutions for those problems? What do you like about the problems and solutions? What do you dislike? What has been working? What's not working? But the whole point is you're not asking people, do you like my product? Right? Which is
Or
what
do you
everyone
need
does.
that exact? And you don't ever ask, do you need this, and describe your product. So you can also ask people how they feel, why they're using something, because maybe there is solution, but it's a bad solution. Maybe that is not user friendly. It's hard to get. It's expensive. It's frustrating at some point. So how do you feel, and how do you wanna feel? It's really always about emotions. People
That's a
want
great
to
point.
feel happy and relaxed, comfortable using it. Do you know when I go to some website and in 5 seconds, maybe less, I cannot find the button I'm looking for, I'm out. They lost me. If it's not intuitive enough, I don't have like time. I don't have attention to look for it. I don't know if because I'm Gen Z or what is the problem, but I was like, that website is not for customers. You build it to look good to you and just to you.
Yeah, 100%. I think the point is we live in a human world with human emotions. We're not robots. There is no formula. And the thing that actually might sell and I might build a business might be so counterintuitive from what's at face value logical, right? And so I think about that quite often. It's like when I think, and this is it's such an obvious thing for a seasoned copywriter or marketer to think about, but for somebody who doesn't think at this kind of level of psychoanalysis, it's a very weird thing to think about. It's like, well, why does somebody, for example, let's say a sales rep, why does a sales rep make 100 calls a day? Well, they want to keep their job. Well, why do they want to keep their job? And then you go down this why, and at some point you get to some core underlying emotion or desire of that person. And it might just be like, I really want to become a VP of sales someday. Well, why do you want to do that? Because I want to make a lot of money to have freedom. Well, why do you want freedom? Well, because I actually don't like working at all. And I just want to go like hang out on a beach, and I see this as the way for me to get there. Right. So the actual underlying desire is freedom. It's not being better at his SDR job, right? And but to see that and to then see that across thousands of people and to like discern, okay, the actual desire here is freedom, not being better at a salesperson. Now, he might not think of it like that. And so then you get into this weird kind of tricky game of like, how aware is this person of that desire, you know? Because he
Yes,
might not
people
think
don't
about it
know
like freedom.
themselves.
Exactly. So let's say you do the mom test, you talk to a bunch of people, you're looking at the results. What happens next?
After that, I creating the strategy and the messaging, the initial message, the follow-up. Always I use multi-channel, and people often ask me like, what is the best channel? Where is the best reply rate? It depends on your ICP. If your ICP are using Telegram, Telegram is it. I always love a combination of 2 or 3. I mean, my clients, I mean, their needs and their business are like that, that we are always using cold calling, emails, and LinkedIn campaigns. But I also have some Web3 clients that are using Telegram, X, and different. Approaches, big some community groups, and on Discord, on Telegram, and etc. So it depends. And after that I do the messaging, the sequences, follow-ups, everything like minimum 3 to 4 follow-ups. Like last night I have a call with a potential client, and he showed me his messaging. He was like really happy to show me that, really proud of it. There is like 20 sequences, and there is like follow-ups are waiting, like, hey, just to ping, or just wave, like emoji of wave. And I was like, I don't know, I will block that person if that person reach out to me, because when you do the messaging, you need to catch the people attention in every message and not to repeat yourself. You need to add some, the first message is to pick them in the pinpoint. The second message should be adding more info. What is your case study, or what is the numbers? What is some statistics? What is on the next message should be, the next follow-up should be maybe some one pager or something free that you can give them, like free audit, or maybe some custom consultation for them, I don't know. So after that you can add clients that you worked with, some well-known names, well-known companies that will catch them attention. So in every message, you don't repeat previous information. You're always adding more and more and more, and you'll always like growing that conversation with information about your business that is relevant, and that is like the best approach.
Yeah, it's so. This is where copywriting. It's like I've heard this since in my early career. The number one skill you can learn in business is copywriting. And again, the number one book you can read is Eugene Schwartz's Breakthrough Advertising. It's such a good foundational thing. One of the things he talks about is this concept of the awareness scale. And so take people from an unaware stage to a problem aware stage to a solution aware category, right? And then you get into various subcategories of those solutions, and then you get into actual products, right? And then you get into price points and that kind of stuff. So the reason I bring that up is that if you read any old school copywriting book, they are talking about long form sales letters typically. And the old school landing pages had this very long form thing. But all the structure of the copy remained the same, which is you have your headline, you have your subheadline, you have your first sentence, and then you have your first paragraph, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And to your point, it creates what they would call a slippery slope, which is you have the first headline that has to then lead to the subheadline. And each one has to do its own job. It's so critical that it can't just be some random extra fluff. It has to be extremely captivating to match the desire and need and want of the person at the top, and then immediately spill to the next. But I think you said something that, I'm just giving that as context for anyone listening, but I think you said something that was interesting, and I think it brings it to the modern times, which is your messaging on Telegram or say LinkedIn or text messages are in some ways a long form sales letter, but in messages, right? And now they have to react to the person in live time, but it doesn't mean that we can't have a foundational strategy of thinking like that, which is first word in 3 words and 5 words has to immediately meet the person where their mind is at and their mass desire. And then the next phrase has to immediately add value, but also heighten that awareness, and then start to move them in the level of, okay, there is this category of solutions. And by the way, have you heard of this particular type of solution? Would you like to explore that? So it's very interesting because I think that most people don't think of messaging in that way. They think it's just, oh, hey, Frank, great, let's just talk, and then they
I'm
lose
just
people.
doing this and that. Yes, they lose people and they generic, and the messages, you in every second when they read message, you need to catch them again, 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 and now I think the structure is the same as the old ways. The logic is always the same, but because people are not having a time, it's really important to messages to be short and readable in bullet points, some bold or caps lock with important wording that will catch their mind, because they're reading between the meetings, or when they're in a rush or in a traffic, etc. So they need to be readable, and they need to have a call to action. When I add a calendar link into my messaging, everything changed. Like I have doubled or maybe tripled meetings, booked meetings, because people are not actually answer me on those kind of messaging because they don't have time. They just, interesting, I will book a call and that's it. They choose the time that suits them the best, and like a lot of them, like maybe 9% of them never answer the message, hey Teodora, it's interesting, I scheduled the call, see you next week. No, they just schedule and we close the deal at the meeting because they don't have time to write me back.
Yeah, if anybody's not using calendar links at this point, I don't know what they're doing because it's like it's everything, and on top of it, it leads to much better analytics. So what we do is, I mean, we're crazy, but like I actually have all of the calendar links for my SDR groups. They have UTM parameters associated with it. And anybody who doesn't know what a UTM parameter, it's just a string of variables that come after the URL. So you can imagine like reviops.com is my software agency's, or my, not software agency, my application. It's a central database platform. So that's the website, reviops.com. Then there's a question mark, and then there's a set of parameters. Very obvious to some people if you are getting into the game. They're used for tracking and basically segmenting the channels you're using by various things. For example, you could have source equals Facebook, and then you could have the next piece, which is medium, and medium is kind of a meta category, a category above the category, which is social. So you might have sources could be LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, but they're all in the medium of social. And then you might have a later piece called campaign, and you might have campaigns running across time, which are various initiatives. Like let's say you're doing a Black Friday promo, since we're in the Black Friday week. And it might be like Black Friday 2025 would be the campaign, and then you'd have a piece of content, which might be the post or the email that you send or something. So what we do is we take that same type of UTM parameter and we actually use it for the channel we're sending the link on. Because I want to know where the link actually gets scheduled from on the outbound motion. It's very obvious to use UTM parameters on inbound, like ads, because you just put the link in the ad or on a social post, they click on it and you see where it came from. But when you're actually sending a link as a sales rep, you might send it on Telegram, you might send it on WhatsApp, you might send it on email. And I want to know which channel for my sales reps is actually working the best. So I give them shortened links, and then they send that link, the person books, and I'll know that, 80% of our meetings are actually coming from WhatsApp. And so we pass that data back into the CRM. We host it in Reviops as well, and we can do really cool analytics to show attribution. Something I thought about, but I'm a huge fan of calendar links. I know that's obvious to a lot of people, but I think people don't leverage them to the degree they could from an analytics perspective. And I just also think they just perform better, frankly. For adding data to the CRM, there's a bunch of reasons. So
Yes. And you can put a quick form to know what is their revenue, or to go through banked methodology or medic or something, and prepare well for the meeting to know it will be like a good lead for you or not.
100%. So, okay, so before I know we're going to be running out of time here in a few minutes. What I like to do is, if you had to leave anybody with a message, it doesn't have to be sales and marketing related. So I know this is a sales and marketing podcast, and we're talking about that. But what do you think about, any message that you'd want to leave with the world? It could be philosophical, spiritual, it could be business, it could be whatever. It's just a personal take on reality. I like to kind of break outside of the tactical stuff we've been talking about. What do you think?
First thing first is to know yourself, know your reasons why you're doing things, know what is authentic and unique in your voice, in your being, in your do SWOT analyze for yourself. And whenever you do something, do it from the heart. Do things you love, because people will feel when you're doing things under the pressure or just for the money. The world is big enough. There is space for everything. There is market for everyone. Just do something that you love, that you're enjoying, that is like your hobby that you will do for free at some time maybe, and make a nice strategy of it. Always put pricing and packaging aligned to your customers, and always listen to them and be ready to every day iterate your whole strategy and your whole mindset around that product or service. Be like physically and be physically and mentally prepared for it.
I love what you just said about the first thing you said was like know yourself, right? And I think it's interesting because this gets back to the level of awareness, right? It's not just in terms of products and markets and doing business. It's also
Yeah.
what is your level of awareness of who you are and what you stand
Yes.
for and what your values are and your beliefs are and your limiting beliefs. And I'm very interested in Carl Jung and just like any type of shadow work where people talk about the shadow, which is the parts of ourselves that we are either blind to or don't want to acknowledge that are holding us back, right? And I think part of understanding copywriting or messaging or go-to-market strategy is actually just fundamentally understanding human beings. And the best place to start is with your own psychology. And I
Yes.
feel like this is why I spend a tremendous amount of time just thinking every single day about what do I stand for? What are my core values? And for me, it's like unimpeachable characters, number one. Number two is truth seeking. Like I want to know the truth. But if you haven't done those types of things for yourself and gone through activities to explore subtle beliefs and values and shadows around yourself, then how can you possibly begin to do that for other people at the deepest level? All right?
Yes, and can I jump in with
Sure.
one thought that I wanted to say through all this session? People constantly asking me to do ghostwriting for them on LinkedIn, and just we jump on a call and I told them I cannot do it for you. It's not smart. People will feel that, and they'll just I want to be like you. I want to be authentic. I want to be bold, and I was like, okay, I can do two things for you. I can do audit of your profile, and the second thing, I can learn you how to write, and I can teach you about you. I can lead you to find your inner voice. You cannot be me, and I cannot be you. The real ghostwriters are costing like $10,000 per month, and those ghostwriters are living with you, like literally like going to dinner with you and your wife, like going to your meetings and just sitting there and studying you for months. Because they need to learn about your energy, about your humor, about how you thinking, how what you agree, what you disagree, what's your like what's your mindset and everything. And to be a really good ghostwriter, you need to put a lot of time with that person, not just to write posts about that industry. And people feel that it's not it's not investment, it's not wasted money, it's waste of reputation.
That's deep. I feel like
Yes.
this gets back full circle of there is no shortcut here, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
about human exploration. It's about human understanding, and that happens through human conversations, one conversation at a time. And it requires deep listening. It requires deep introspection, deep analysis, deep reflection, and it's not sexy. It's not easy. It's not fast. It takes a lot of grueling brain power. No AI is going to distill it for you. And this is the hard reality about being an entrepreneur, being a business person, being a marketer, being a copywriter. And I feel like you're right. I feel like this message, this core fundamental reality, has been lost on in social media, and everybody's looking for quick wins, and it's causing people to make poor hiring decisions for growth people, for agencies that are skipping all of this. And so the number one thing I would have anybody who is thinking about hiring a growth person and an agency to guide you is if they're not saying the things that you are saying on this call, if they're not deeply interested in this level of research, then run for the hills because they're going to use some stupid ChatGPT AI prompt and they're going to come up with the worst copy. And to your point, it's not just, brand reputation that hurts. It's it could actually destroy your entire market if you're messaging
Yes,
incorrectly.
yes, completely agree.
So great to have you on. Where can people find you online?
They can find me on YouTube and on LinkedIn. YouTube is Grow with Teodora, and LinkedIn is Teodora Vukasinovic.
Okay. I'm going to put the spelling in there for anybody who also struggles with the last name.
Yes,
So we will
sorry,
have a,
Serbian last name.
no, it's okay. It's my fault. It's not your fault. But I will put a link for anybody down there, so you can go click on it. You can go visit the profiles, and we'll definitely see you guys on the next episode of the Next Gen Sales Leader podcast. Appreciate everybody, and thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you so much, my pleasure. Bye.
See you guys.